Hey folks, John Ferguson Smart. I want to talk about flaky tests. Flaky tests are pretty much the bane of a test automation engineer's existence. Flaky tests are what happens when we have a test suite. You might have 100 tests, you might have 1,000 tests, you might have 5,000 tests, but every test run you have some failing tests. Sometimes they're not the same tests each time. Sometimes it randomly varies from test to test. And what happens when you have these flaky tests is that basically you drain a lot of your time figuring out what went wrong. I've seen projects where they had a roster of people, of testers, whose job was each morning to go through the failing tests of the nightly build and figure out what went wrong and to see if there were any genuine regressions or if they were all just randomly failing tests. That's a huge drain on time. And that's a symptom of a more general problem that I see, where test automation suites take control of the testers. And what I mean by that is that you want to control your automation. You want to be in charge. You want automation to serve you, not the other way around. Once you let a test suite take control, once you let a test suite take over and dominate your existence, dominate your daily routine to the point where all your time is spent either fixing broken tests, fixing flaky tests, or figuring out whether tests are genuinely failing or not, then that's a lot of time that you can't spend talking to people, collaborating, figuring out how to express acceptance criteria in an executable format, building on those executable specifications, where activities where you're really making an impact, where you can really make a difference and help deliver quality. Going through a list of flaky tests is not helping the team deliver software better. Yeah, sure, you might find a failure from time to time, and that failure may be valuable, but it's at a huge cost. So, flaky, when you have a test suite that is flaky, that does have failing tests, my recommendation is to be very ruthless, to make sure that a test that, if it's flaky, if either make it work systematically or find a way of testing whatever it's testing in a different way, in a safer way, in a more reliable way. Evaluate whether it's really useful to test a particular feature in that way. Is it really useful to go through this flow with the UI? Then think about strategies that you could do things differently to make your application, your tests less flaky. Maybe use more API tests. Maybe rely more on unit tests. Maybe trust the developers a little bit more. Maybe pair with the developers so that you have solid, reliable unit tests rather than long, flaky acceptance tests. So that's my general suggestion today. Don't let test automation control you. Make sure your test automation suites are a tool that support your activity, not the other way around. Thanks for listening, folks.